That is the sound of the jar of names. Let's pick out a name, shall we? I choked on my own words then. This video is for everyone, including but not excluded to Max Ravage. So welcome everybody to another Cup of Tea in a Podcast. This is Cup of Tea in a Podcast. This is the cup of tea right here. And this right here is the podcast. So if you go down to the comment section, it should be there very soon actually. You can go to this week's skip list where you can skip to this week's update, this week's topic, this week's question, and this week's goal. Update is the first thing to talk about though, so let's get on with that then. Big news this week is that we've actually finally caught up. Oh my god, I am so happy. Yeah, we've done it. We're back on track. This podcast is out a late Monday, I will admit. But I chose to do it on the Monday, which I wanted to try and do it on the Sundays, but I was having some issues with some other college work, which we'll talk about later. So yeah, it is out on the Monday, so that's good. So, can't complain, although, like I said, probably early hours of Tuesday for the next video of Dishonored. Well, actually, no, because I'll probably put it up on the Tuesday. It doesn't matter, we'll see how it goes. I'll talk about that later in the topic anyway. But yeah, caught up, I'm happy. Just got to stay this way now then, because, we need to. Speaking of which, I am very busy with college at the moment. I have come to sort of like the end of the big 10 essay thing that I need to do. I've got 3 due in on this Friday, so that's what I've been spending most of my time doing. Like yesterday I was doing a big project folder, which I've pretty much done now. Just a few things I need to get everybody else to do. And then I've got 2 essays to do about remakes and another one about types of brief in the media industry. So I just need to do those and then I'll be done. And then I'll have 2 weeks off, which I need to do 3 essays in that. One of them's quite big, but that'll be easier because that's 2 weeks off. That's 2 weeks off of college, so I'll have time to do this and that, and hopefully get it all done. So that's a good plan coming up. Hopefully we'll be able to get caught up on that. But we'll sort of briefly mention about that in the goals at the end of this episode. Next thing is on Saturday, the 1st of April, we're going to have the 23rd Let's Play Is video. But there's going to be a little bit of a twist there. So I'll leave that for you to think about. But it's going to be out on Saturday, and hopefully you'll all enjoy it. It's going to tell you all what the next Let's Play is going to be. And I can't wait. And you've got a lot of planning to do for that as well, but I'll probably do that at the weekend. I might actually put that into this week's goal as well, but we'll talk about that later. Anyway, let's go on to the topic. So let's go through this week's lists of videos that we've got coming out on these actual days, because this is actually out on time. So Monday, we've got right now, got Cup of Tea and Podcast. It's got you're listening to right now. It's a podcast. And then after that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say it's out on Tuesday, just because, we've only got 3 episodes of videos this week. So we'll have Tuesday, we'll have a Dishonored video called Good Night Machine. Horia did not tell me about this. We kind of did, but I already recorded it by the time he told me this. But he told me about this thing that sort of does stuff, and it's amazing. And it is, I have to admit, everything I did to get there is a bit pointless after you get to this point. But it is a very nice scene. Like the way it all plays out is just beautiful. So yeah, that's a very good one. It's very story heavy, as opposed to the last Dishonored video, which was very doing stuff rather than actual story stuff. But this is a very story heavy one. I think there's about 20 minutes of story in it, so it's good. It's very good. And then on Wednesday we'll have another Dishonored video called Landing Zone. We get to the final level and we basically just work our way through the landing zone, as I call it. And it's quite a good level. I like the level. It's I know it's the last level. It's very tough. I did enjoy it. And then on Thursday we'll have another Dishonored video. You've seen the trend here? Dishonored video every week. Another Dishonored video called Fort TK, which 40k Warrior Man might remember, but I don't think he's around at the moment. I haven't seen many comments from him at the moment. I don't know if he's still there. This was obviously started by him. It was the Fort T and then K. Let's just say it's linked to the last level. Maybe I get through something and name it for myself. Maybe it's called Fort TK. Just going to say that, put that out there. Anyway, let's move on now to the Saturday video, which is the 1st of April, which is the 23rd Let's Play Is video, which I'm hopefully you're excited for. I've got a lot of planning to do before it, but I just want to say, remember it's a Saturday, and remember it's the 1st of April. But that's that. Anyway, Let's go now on to the hint. I did say last week's hint was a missed event, which Horia did got. He said it was either Valentine's Day or St. Patrick's Day. They were both incorrect. It's not for that day. It's another day. However, I have not edited that yet because, like I said, college work is done. We'll talk about that in goals because that's also a goal. So this week's hint is still missed event. So you can still try and guess that if you wish to do. Right then, what's next after that? It is community section. It is! Right, let's go on to the Mention Monday then. So these are the people that commented on last week's videos, which they actually were, because they were on track. Oh yeah! So thanks to everybody that commented on these videos. We'll go through the names now and give you a personal thank you. We thank Spudley Dudley, Horia, Max Ravage, Dragonlord 55511, and non-copyright music Tribal NCS. Very creative name, that last one. I wonder what... Actually, to be fair, though, it's very descriptive. It tells me exactly what videos you put up, which is cool. Cool, so thank you very much to everyone there. Now we're going to go on to the Q&A. It's quite a fairly big one, but we've only got 2 questions, but one of them's got 3 parts to it because I forgot to do something last week. But the first one is from Dragonlord55511, who says... Let me just get this ready. Hello, Sir JD262. I have a question and a riddle for you. Question: what are your springtime plans this year? Right, so springtime plans. I've got a few. In all fairness, I've only got 2 weeks off this spring because, it's the last part of college. Everything's going off now, so it's all very, very stressful. Well, not stressful, but it's all go, go, go. So I don't have many plans, but since I've got 2 weeks off, that's a long time. So in that time, I want to see the new Beauty and the Beast because I'm a big Disney fan. Need to see that. Going to try and do that. I want to sort out my room because I haven't done it since Christmas time, and it's starting to sort of build up again. So I need to crack down on that. Also, that'll help me get ready for uni as well. See what I need to keep handy for when I go. So that's what I want to do. Plus, in that time, I also want to get a little bit more further on with this channel. Like get the details done, and once the details are done, I feel like I can start revamping everything. But then I also want to try and catch up with Couple of Adventure. Plus, I also want to start doing stuff on my blog, which I need to. Otherwise, I'm going to finish the thing that I want to do before I start posting stuff about it. That makes sense. Which is going to be hectic. So probably not going to get everything I need to get done. But after what's after April? After April, I've only got 2 assignments to do. One's a final major project, so it's going to be a big one. Plus, it's another thing to do as well, which is quite simple. So I'll have a lot more time after April. So after that, I'll probably focus more on the like the blog stuff and all that sort of bits and bobs. But yeah, that's my plans. Main ones are obviously more outside of this channel, but the other ones are just the details and try and sort out Cup of Adventure now, because obviously now that I can, I want to get on that. Right, now we have 2 riddles this week because I just didn't read off one last week. One is, I sit high, growing and watching the world go by. Without me, everything seems dull and dangerous. What am I? Hint, it is the tall object used to light up streets at night or wintertime when it is dark. I used to run on whale oil, but we now run on electricity. It is a lamp post. Which is... I thought I was going to say something about that, but yeah, it's a lamppost. Yeah, it's funny you said about whale oil and we're playing Dishonored, to be fair. But then in Dishonored, they also mentioned rat lights, which I don't quite understand what they are. I did try Googling it once, but it didn't really say anything. It just said rat running, and it was something completely different. Anyway, the other riddle is, I can be thin but not fat, in your body but never on your placemat. I am always better when I am fresh, but you never see me in the flesh. What am I? Hint, it is the element that surrounds the whole world. Besides sunlight and water, it is also the reason why Earth is the only planet so far that has it, and why the other planets are not livable. The last reason is why sound happens on Earth and not in space. Now, I am going to say it's either air or oxygen. You could argue that they're the same thing, but they're technically not, actually. So it's one or the other. I'm not sure which one it would be. I would say, because fresh air is obviously that sort of thing. I'm going to say air. Yeah, not just oxygen. It's going to be... I'm going to say air. Yeah, I'm going to go with the air. Right, anyway, we have another question from Horia, who says, name that movie. A group of critics take over a nation and they slowly start to exile each other. Right, okay then. So, I'm not too sure about this film. I want to say Hunger Games, but I don't think it's Hunger Games for some reason. I do have the answer. I'm going to load up the answer right now because I found it in the link in the spam folder. The film is called Kick Ass SIA? What the devil? I have no idea what that sort of film... What on earth? I've never seen this film in my life. Never seen it in... Nope. Never seen it before in my life. Okay, then. Let's now go on to... what's next? Where's my list? Subscribers, that's the one then. So, unusually, last week we were at 1,290, and this week we've gone up to 1,301. We've gone up 11 names. Oh my lord, that's a lot of names. I think that's probably a bug, because we've only got 3 names on the list of people that want to be known. So this week, we welcome to the community Uncle Bill 409, XLNT Media, and JOM Wood. So welcome to the community. Joined at an exciting time. New Let's Play being announced at the weekend, starting next Tuesday. Oh my god, it's going to be so good. A lot of planning is going to go into it though. And I'm like, oh my god, where do I start planning? But we'll probably do that at the weekend. Alright, so let's go on to question. Last week's question was, what questions do you think I should ask you in terms of like research to what I can find out what sort of videos you like to see and stuff like that, and how I can progress them better to your liking, that sort of stuff, you know what I mean? Spuddy Daddy says you could ask which games you do like Japanese or Chinese games like Dynasty Warriors, or anything with the sword and shield like hack and slash. Yeah, that is definitely, I didn't even consider asking this sort of question, but yeah, it's definitely something I could ask. Like what sort of like genre of games do you like? Although to be fair, I think when it comes down to that, I think that'll be more towards what I like to play, because like I wouldn't play something that I don't like playing. Like for example, Call of Duty, I would probably never play that on the channel, or at all, because that's not my sort of game. However, some of those games, I mean, Dynasty Warriors I've never played, I never really got into them. I suppose I could look at it, that's something I won't, not look at. Or Sword and Shield hack and slash. I have played sort of stuff like that. The new Overlord game you can class as a hack and slash, because it pretty much is. But yeah, we'll see about that. I can ask those questions. Horia says, good questions to ask would be what we want, fast-paced or slower games, harder games or easier games, older games, newer games, more editing, less editing, games for younger audiences or older audiences. That's funny you said that. Nuzlocke or rogue-like games, etc., etc. Personally, I think it would be awesome to have something fast-paced like Just Cause to break up the monotony of slower-paced games we have had until now. Something with explosions at least. Right, good questions. Again, it's along the same sort of lines, to be fair. Well, the fast-paced thing and the slower-paced thing is pretty cool. But again, this is where it all comes down to, like, do I make them for you or do I make them for me? Obviously, the questions are about what you want to see, so I suppose they do fit. But in terms of, like, Just Cause, I don't know if I'd ever played Just Cause. I think it is owned by Ubisoft, but I've never really liked the game. Like, I've seen it and I'm like, meh, it's not for me sort of thing. And I must admit, I do prefer a lot more slower-paced games. Like, I don't particularly like fast-paced games. So I suppose that goes down to what I want to play as well. But what we could do something along the lines of is not exactly the same, but Jesse Cox, my inspiration, I suppose you can say, does Fan Friday, where one day a week he does something that a fan suggests. I think he does pick as well, but yeah. So I'm thinking maybe we could do something like that, like Game 1 slot will be something I want to play, Game 2 slot can be something that you want me to play instead. Like, then we can link that in with other games, like Chinese games or Japanese games, or like Call of Duty if you really wanted me to. Maybe. These are things to consider down the line. Right, but this week's question is continuing with a theme about progressing through making better videos for you and everybody else's stuff like that. This week's question is about Cup of Adventure stuff. So at the moment, I have a sort of like a target audience in mind of a young audience, probably along my sister's age, Pepper Cookies' age, around like 12 to like, I don't know. I want to say 23 because that's how old I am, but it's not, because I'm a very exceptional case of 23-year-olds. Probably up to about like 18, I suppose, where it's like, because a lot of 18s that don't know how to cook stuff, so I like to show cut stuff and, get interested in that. So I base it for quite a young audience, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So what sort of target audience do you think I should base it for? Because I'm thinking of changing it. My friend recently said that I should probably change it to a more, older-ish audience, which I'm thinking I probably should do. Like, because the thing at the end of the day is that audience is bigger, not going to lie, but I'm not after it for the views. But I think in terms of like, for this platform, that's better to do, because the younger audiences probably tend to don't watch that sort of stuff. Like, doesn't really fit that audience, I guess, is what I can say. But So what I think I might do is I might sort of like up the age stuff. So like I know some of you guys are around the age of like 18 to 16, or the other way around, 16 to 18. So that might be a question I ask in the questions that I send out to people in terms of like how old you are, so I can know sort of like rough sort of like age groups you are. But I think you're around that age, so I'm guessing I just might try and up the age a little bit. So it's like when you're writing an essay. Do you write it for someone that's completely doesn't know anything about the stuff? So if, like, say, for example, this remix essay I'm doing, if I could say stuff like, "Oh, the mise en scène," is like, but then people would be like, "Duh, what's the mise en scène?" Not knowing what the mise en scène is, classifies you as stupid. It does not. Mise en scène is very hard to explain, and not everyone does know what it is. It's quite a industry level of word, shall we say. Just in case you wanted to know what it was like everything you see on screen, like the set design and everything, like cinematography, everything. It covers everything you see. Basically, it's hard to explain, but that's basically what it is. So it's like, what do I do on my Cupboard Adventure videos? Do I talk as if you guys know some of the stuff that's going on, or do I talk it from a very novice level when you don't know nothing? That's what I wanted to ask. Like, what sort of target audience do you think I should go for, and how do you think I could better make the videos for that audience? But like, do I go for your sort of age range, or do I go for a different age range or whatever? Let me know, because I'm interested to know what you think, because I have no ideas at the moment about this. Let's go on to this week's theme now then. Oh, it's a long podcast again. This week's theme goes to DragonLord55511, who says, "Hey JD, I've noticed that you did not answer my riddle of the week last week. I am very sorry that I put it in this week for you. As for my question, which was about stress, how do you deal with stress, which I thought was a very good question. The real reason for me asking the question is because I have not been doing many things like he has been doing many things like taking care of his lifestyle and other things. You see, I have been trying to go back to college for several months now, and recently I have been very busy with packing up boxes and finding a new home where the college is." Sorry, throat hurting. I am planning to moving sometime next week. Ooh. It is far from easy when it comes to moving and such. I hope that when I can move to my new place, you will hear from me again. I hope so. I just want to be done with college and move on to other things. Yes, so now that you've sort of said why you asked that question, it sort of put it into context for me. I'm like, oh, that's really fascinating. Yeah, so like the dealing with stress thing is actually quite important then, yeah, because obviously you're going through a lot of stress right now, like you said, with moving house and going to college. But yeah, I definitely stick by what I said last week about the whole lists and planning. It sort of gets out of your head, so you don't have to think about it. It's written down, so you don't have to keep it in your head. Like, think of Sherlock, when it's like he removes things from his head. Write it down so you can remove it, and then you just look at it back when you need to, so you don't have to constantly think about it. Like, oh, I need to remember to do this, or I need to remember to do this. Just write it down so you can see what you need to do, so you don't have to think about it, and you can just sort of relax and get on with the one thing that's on top of the list. That's my plan for you, mate, anyway, if it helps. So this week's comment, because, basically it was nice that you put it into context so that we saw, like, what you thought. It's nice to hear what you're doing outside of here as well, because it's all lovely to sort of mingle and to have banters with each other's. I said banter. Actually, technically I said banters, but still. Yeah, so that is why this is this week's comment/theme, because I like it. I like it when we put things into context and all talk. So yeah, what is everyone else doing? Yeah. I know Horry was talking about getting a book published at one point. Has any news from that happened? I would have assumed you would have told me. But any news from that yet? I know it takes a long time. Anyway, that is this week's done now. Let's go on to goals. So last week's goal was to get the Cupboard Adventure... No, was it? It was to plan quarter one of Cupboard Adventure videos, because I needed to get that done... Quarter two, sorry. Obviously that didn't happen because I've been very busy with college work, and I'm probably going to be busy for college work all this week as well. So this week's goal is to get that one Cupboard Adventure video, the one for the missed event from last month. I want to get that done and up, because obviously, I'll get back on track. And I say that because I'm probably going to do that at the weekend, like Saturday or Sunday. So that's why I'm saying that, because I feel like that's when I can get it done. Because obviously up till Friday I'll be working on essays and stuff. So that's this week's goal. It's a very small one, but hopefully it's going to progress forward. That's right. So that's it then. So last week's what film was? I forget what it was. It was like, so maybe they are right. Maybe you're no Son of Poseidon. It's from Percy Jackson 2, Sea of Monsters. So I recently watched it, and I like it. Number 1 was definitely a bit like meh. Number 2, I liked number 2. It ended on a perfect cliffhanger. Like, obviously it's not about the movie makers. It's about more the author. And definitely made me want to read the books, because oh my god, that was a really good ending. That was a bloody twist. I loved that twist. There's a twist, and then there's a twist. I liked it. But yeah, you can definitely see it. They tried I think the director said there's not going to be a number 3 anytime soon. You can definitely see that they tried to make it into like the Harry Potter franchise, if that makes sense, like into that audience, because you can definitely see there's definitely beats of Harry Potter there, especially with the mythological creatures and the centaurs and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where it's from because I really watched it last week, so I thought it was quite cool. But yeah, that is it. So I'm going to finish this cup of tea now, which is probably perfect temperature. Oh yes, it is. I love it. Right, but that's it now then. So until next time we meet, I'll say farewell. Be out next Monday. Can't believe it. We're caught up. I love it. But until next time we meet, I will say farewell, and I'll leave you with what video game? Watch the skies, traveller.